Lots of information to get to in this application for the arrest warrant. We now have that right here in hand for Frank James. Here's what we know, because there is a lot to unpack here. Thefts of catalytic converters have been on the rise big time, not only here in the state of Connecticut, but also all around the country. So the question remains, what exactly is a catalytic converter, and why do thieves want it so bad? After the attack on the U.S. Capitol back on January 6th, tensions have been running high across the United States. But here in Connecticut, local, state, and federal law enforcement have been teaming together to make sure our capital city stays safe. 37-year-old Richard White facing a judge here at Middletown Superior Court after allegedly setting fire at the Roxbury Volunteer Fire Department, along with 2 Hunter ambulance facilities in Meriden and Old Saybrook back on February 27th. And it's devastating that the change has to come at the hand of such a tragic loss of not only a 3-year-old, but 2 hours later, a 16-year-old dying. Julia and Cassandra met while working at the Russian Lady Bar in New Haven. One day, Julia noticed Cassandra's tattoo of the Dominican flag, and that's when they got to talking. What they both didn't realize at the time is that they were both adopted from the Dominican Republic. Now, coworkers always told them that they looked alike, so they just went with it. A tragic loss for the city of Enfield, a historic mill building completely engulfed in flames, and hours later, crews are still working diligently to put out the fire. As vaccines continue to roll out throughout the state, Governor Ned Lamont saying that we are in a really good place, but right now, after 2.8 million doses have been administered, the question becomes, is supply going to start exceeding our demand? Elizabeth's family does not want her to be remembered by this act of violence, but instead her beautiful spirit. She was a daughter, a friend, a sister, and most importantly, a mother. Colleen, when you came here and saw these bullet holes, what went through your mind? It has been 34 excruciating days for the family of Brandon Jenkins since he left his home on December 20th at 7 in the morning and never returned. UConn students have begun moving into the residence halls for the spring 2021 semester, but things are looking a lot different this year. Kent Mawhinney's attorneys filed a motion to have his ankle bracelet removed so that he could fulfill a job opportunity refereeing hockey, so he could wear a hockey skate. That motion was denied. How can you tell? Because on face value on the outside of your vehicle, you actually can't really tell that your catalytic converter was stolen until you turn it on. A business being broken into once is devastating enough, let alone 4 times in under 30 days. It's also important to be mindful of your surroundings. So when you are traveling, we're in Newington right now on the Berlin Turnpike. We're at Cumberland Farms, and gas here is $2.49. But as you can see right behind me, right next door at 7-Eleven, gas is 6 cents more at $2.55. A tragic weekend in the city of Hartford. In just over 2 hours' time and only a few blocks apart, a 3-year-old and a 16-year-old both shot and killed. And now the community is mourning their loss. With the conditions crews were given when they arrived to the fire here on Blackhall Street, they say between the wind and the severe hoarding conditions on the 2nd floor, everyone is lucky to have gotten out safely. The Matterhorn is open Thursday through Sundays for the spring. A terrifying series of events for this family here last night at Cumberland Farms here on Meriden Road in Wolcott. 2 proposed bills on the table could eliminate religious exemption for vaccinations in the public school system, and hundreds of people are out here on Capitol Avenue this morning to protest. According to the CDC, whether you're fully vaccinated or not, they are recommending that you do continue to wear face coverings just to have that extra layer of protection when you go out into big groups of strangers, like a ballpark or a concert. Just making sure we're all doing our part to remain safe and healthy. On the heels of shootings and deaths of a 3-year-old and a 16-year-old here in the capital city, Senator Blumenthal was joined by local advocates and community leaders and those who have lost loved ones to gun violence, including Tricia, a mother whose son was fatally shot and killed back in September of 2020. Throughout her testimony, Tricia emphasized the importance of children having safe places to go and interactive things to do to keep them off the streets.
I had to move out of a town that my son grew up 24 years in and was killed on the very same street that he used to walk to the corner store as a child. There was no more Parker, no more outlet for my son to go play his ball.
Also happening today, volunteers with the Connecticut chapter of Moms Demand Action and Students Demand Action, both parts of Everytown for Gun Violence Safety grassroots networks, gathering virtually with representatives from around the state, passing common sense action when it comes to preventing gun violence.
It cannot be overemphasized how critically important it is to speak out and up about these issues right now. We know that COVID has had a devastating effect on gun sales and on our urban communities specifically, and we've just seen the number of shootings and homicides that are gun violence related skyrocket.
Senator Blumenthal says President Biden just announced $5 billion being allocated to prevent gun violence, but local advocates say that's only a foundation and not even close to what is necessary to make this violence go away.
$5 billion is just a beginning down payment. I'm going to take these stories and these testimonies with me as evidence for more money in this federal legislation. We need more money. And when my colleagues say to me, you know, we need to cut back, we need a smaller package, I'm going to tell them, listen to these stories, see these faces.
While this money is a start to help communities heal and bring resources to those who need it most, community activists at the roundtable say much more will be necessary to heal the wounds that flood our city's streets. In Hartford, Lauren Zenzie, Fox 61 News.